zone getting looted in South LA.
KCAL News reporter Tina Patel is at the scene to show us the damage.
Employees at this AutoZone are now cleaning up. There was a lot of shattered glass, also a number of items that burglars had just dropped as they were on their way out. So unfortunately, there is going to be a big mess here this morning. Now, I want to show you some video taken by someone who lives in the area. It shows a street takeover on the corner of Century and Hoover. It looks like 100 people or so were taking part in that around 4:30 this morning. And then some people involved in the takeover broke into the auto parts store and started ransacking it. They also spray painted graffiti on the side of the building, so there's quite a bit of damage. It'll take some time to assess that. Everyone involved took off before police arrived, so there have not been any arrests yet. This is actually not the first time this AutoZone has been looted. Last June, there was a similar incident. Dozens of people broke in, burglarized the store in the early morning hours while a street takeover was happening nearby. Nearly $70,000 of merchandise was stolen there. Now, both the Organized Retail Crime Task Force and the Street Racing Task Force investigated. They were able to go through security video, identify some of the suspects, and they made a few arrests last fall. So we believe investigators will do the same thing today, go through security video, and hopefully that will help them identify some suspects.
Anyone inside the AutoZone, make yourself known. Come out with your hands up. This is the Los Angeles Police Department. Anyone inside the AutoZone, make yourself known. Come out with your hands up.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
This feels a lot like hell.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is talking about the street takeovers and the lootings that's happening in LA. Because even the residents are getting really fed up with the street takeovers and the looting. And on top of that, the businesses are closing down because of all the mass looting and they can't sustain themselves. And you're going to have a lot of far leftists complaining and saying, oh, well, it's not that. Like, you can do more. Like, no, you idiots. Your policies are destroying the actual city in itself. It's destroying everything, and you have nothing but to blame for yourself. So what we have here is this, and we're going to be going over the actual looting.
Trend of street takeovers leading to stores being looted. Just last night, 2 stores, one in Compton, another in South LA, broken into by thieves. This comes just a day after an AutoZone was looted in South LA after another takeover. Fox 7's Gina Silva joins us now live with reaction from the community. Gina.
Well, Susan, street takeovers used to be all about the stunts and showing off, but lately they're becoming far more damaging for businesses.
Okay, who brought this reporter on? What is her intelligence level? It's all about the stunts and showing off. Are we at a professional setting? Because last time I checked, street takeovers are not that. If you see this here, there's literally a barrier here sitting right in front of this, trying to prevent the cars from ramming into the actual building in itself. That's what they're there for. I don't know what this lady's thinking. I don't know what's going through her mind, but street takeovers have never been about good moves and whoa, we got the moves and all that stuff. No, it's never been about that. What are we doing here?
Certain people are taking the opportunity to just, take what they shouldn't,
You're looking at the aftermath of a street takeover that spiraled into looting. Sneakers and merchandise litter the ground, surrounded by torn boxes and shattered glass. Thousands of dollars in goods were stolen from the warehouse shoe sale store at Wilmington Avenue and Del Amo Boulevard.
It's hard for a business to recuperate after that because it's like they see these things happening and it's like no one's here to help them.
It wasn't the only business targeted in the early morning hours.
They got all their mail in there. I think they're cooked. Who knows how much they took.
Edgar Retana showed up at the Metro by T-Mobile store at South Figueroa and Slauson, hoping to set up a phone plan, only to find the doors locked. The store was shut down after burglars broke in early this morning.
Very inconvenient since I was trying to go in.
Sheriff's deputies tracked down 3 suspected looters after discovering a stolen package from the WSS store. Contained a GPS tracker. All 3 were taken into custody and 2 vehicles were towed from the scene. Fed up, up, Angelenos say something has to change. They say too many street takeovers keep turning into looting sprees, and it's local businesses that are paying the price.
It's all over the city.
Yeah, so again, what you're seeing here is just the reality of these street takeovers causing mayhem and destruction. And this guy's saying here, they got to do something. They're like, sir, you got to do something. You got to vote correctly. Because unless you're not voting the correct way, trying to prevent these policies from coming into your city and destroying it and being soft on crime, this is never going to be fixed. This is never going to solve the problem. If you keep voting for these wicked policies, I hate to break it to you, my guy, but it's not going to help.
City, it's everywhere. It's not just here, it's everywhere.
So again, 3 suspects were arrested, but far too many are on the loose. If you know any information about these lootings that happened early in the morning, contact the LAPD or LA County Sheriff's Department. Susan?
And once again, this is a situation where a lot of times social media plays a role in getting people to a street takeover. And then also some people like to post their bad acting too, their bad behavior. Do we know at this point whether or not that has turned up?
We looked on social media. I couldn't find anything about these particular lootings, but you're right. I mean, they organize on social media, and that's how you get these large groups of people to show up at specific places. But they are getting a little bit more savvy, and they're doing it in private groups, and that way law enforcement doesn't, get information ahead of time.
Yeah,
So, I don't know about these reporters, but stupidity seems to be a strong one with them. Okay, so first off, social media has been a very strong tool to expose the insanity of the far left and what has been happening in these policies or in these places here. So this is, I don't know how you could blame social media. Yeah, you have idiots showing their crime, but honestly, that's how these people have been getting caught. I mean, how can I show you how many terrible TikTokers have been using their social media to literally show their crimes and they get arrested for literally videoing their crime. So I don't see how this is actually a net negative here, because either way, if you have you can't really be blaming social media here. You have to be blaming the source. And the source is that the people that are running these policies and doing these things are the biggest problem. They're not doing anything to fix the issue, right? So social media is not even the problem. It's the Democrats and the policies that is the issue. So again, we have more here. So we have this final thing here where it comes down to the AutoZone, where this has also been looted and attacked.
LA this morning, what started with a street takeover led to this mess at an AutoZone. You can see the shattered glass, merchandise everywhere, scattered all across the parking lot, the street there. NBC4's Lauren Coronado is live in historic South Central. Lauren, this damage, the community has dealt with this before, unfortunately.
Adrian, they have. In fact, the LAPD officer I spoke with tells me this is something they've been dealing with recently. He tells me that officers first responded to a street takeover on the corner of Vernon and Main, and then this happened, a smash and grab at this AutoZone. You'll see the mess left behind. People got in through those storefront windows, shattered glass still scattered, and I want to get to video captured shortly after the burglary.
Anyone inside the AutoZone, make yourself known. Come out with your hands up. This is the Los Angeles Police Department.
Officers cleared the store before collecting evidence. This was around 1:30 overnight. We're working to find out how much merchandise was taken and just how many people were involved. One neighbor tells me there were easily dozens involved, and we know this isn't the only AutoZone to have been targeted in the area. I covered this smash and grab last year in the Vermont Vista neighborhood. In fact, this store was hit twice. Both stemmed from street takeovers, and the officer I spoke with says, yeah, these kind of cases are a big problem they're dealing with right now. Back out here live, here's a look at tire marks on the ground where the street takeover happened in front of the AutoZone, the reason behind the initial call for service. Now, I asked the officer that I talked with if any arrests have been made. He tells me no, they haven't been able to arrest anyone, but they do have video from AutoZone, and they are reviewing that video. They're hoping they can track down the people responsible.
Yeah, so even AutoZone is not even safe from these street takeovers. And what's going to end up happening is that the AutoZone is going to eventually fall, is going to eventually go out of business because they're not going to be making enough money to benefit from this. And even if you say, the leftists say, oh, well, you have insurance. Well, if this keeps on happening and they have to keep on digging into the insurance company is eventually going to drop these people because they're just too much of a liability. They're costing too much money. We have to drop them, which means the business will eventually fall, and then you don't have the business anymore. Here's an actual clip of the street takeovers causing a huge amount of problems, and people just parked there watching it happen because they can't do anything because they could over the complete street.
Adams live streamed cell phone video shows a packed intersection as drivers perform dangerous stunts in that street. Driver after driver taking their turns doing donuts and burnouts, and you see other drivers stuck in the blocked intersection waiting for things to clear. It wasn't more than a few minutes later that reports of looting began coming in. LAPD this morning says one business in this small strip mall was burglarized, and you can see the damage left behind. 4 businesses here in this strip mall: a market, a nail salon, a beauty supply shop, and a restaurant. It appears several of them, if not all of them, have some sort of damage. The plaza is surrounded by a security gate, but it's not clear right now if that was closed or even locked when all of this happened. The results, of course, of a dangerous trend that we see throughout our city. LAPD this morning says they're not sure exactly how many people were out here or how many cars were involved. But from what we could tell in that video, it looks like dozens of cars and dozens of people. Police tell us they did not make any arrests.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, the main things that we cause here is that we have people that are voting in policies that are not beneficial to the city at whole. And then you have street takeovers, which are becoming more rampant, especially in more of the Bay Area of California. And then when you add all these things together, they end up committing crimes, they end up stealing things, and the businesses have to pay for these damages, and then the businesses eventually leave because they can't pay for all these damages constantly, and they're not making any profit, and it makes the actual city of LA collapse. So this is all connected here. When you do not vote or do not put in the correct policies, you end up having issues to where this happens. And let this be known, I can't be any silent anymore. It's like at this point in time, you have to be correct on what you're doing here, and this is a travesty. And LA is already burning down to the ground, quite literally, and then you have this where it's just the rest of it's just being taken over by criminals. Well, I guess it's what we have to deal with. Don't go to LA, people, because it obviously seems like a death trap. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.